The UK government's crackdown on hate speech is reportedly seeing as many as 30 arrests a day in what should be a warning for those trying to rush hate speech reform through the Australian Parliament. One example, is retired UK police officer Julian Foulkes, who was wrongfully arrested over a social media post in 2023 regarding a reply to a supporter of the pro-Palestinian marches on X. Now, his case was carried by the Free Speech Union through the courts. Last year, he received an apology and a payout from police. The UK is clearly the canary in the coal mine here, and I'm pleased to say Julian Foulkes joins me now. Julian, thank you. I'm thrilled to be able to have you on the program because, as I said, the UK is the canary in the coal mine in relation to this legislation. What would you like to say to Australians when it comes to passing these laws, as they are trying to do, to ram them through the Parliament to crack down on so-called hate speech?
Excuse me. I'd very much like to say to Australians that, on the face of it, it doesn't sound, too controversial. Nobody would like hate speech, and we'd like to be rid of it. The problem here is that it's being drafted, I think, in your particular case, as what seems to be a knee-jerk reaction to the Bondi incident, and it will have zero effect on anti-Semitism. This is what's happened here. We've had an online safety bill drafted a couple of years ago, and it's had no effect whatsoever on anti-Semitism. But the effect it has had is just to clamp down on free speech. And I would say to Australians, be very careful as to what you vote for, what you want, because this will morph into something much worse.
Julian, your case is a good one. I've also watched others, a Conservative commentator who supposedly has said something about Keir Starmer and now heard her right to come on a visa to the UK allegedly withdrawn. Are we seeing predominantly critics of the government or critics of the left being targeted here, and not, as you say, anti-Semites or those who have got really hateful things to say in the public domain held accountable?
Absolutely, this is exactly what's happening, and we only have to go back a week here when we had the Prime Minister actually talking about shutting down X totally in the UK because he was unhappy about a couple of incidents where grok had been used to create some unsavoury images, which, fair enough, it's a point to be made and something that needs to be addressed. But he was talking about literally closing down X. And this is the kind of draconian response that we're getting. Unfortunately, the issue we've got here, and I suspect you've probably got the same issue in Australia, is that the elephant in the room, and it has to be talked about, is radical Islam, and it doesn't get mentioned. We had a situation 3 years ago where a very well-respected MP at one of his constituency surgeries was stabbed to death. And everybody was horrified, but the government immediately swept it under the carpet. And instead of talking about the incident in detail, they started talking about online hate speech and subsequently drafted this online Safety Act. So it has no effect on radicalised individuals, and this is where they need to start talking about it.
Terrific common sense there, Julian. Thank you for joining me tonight. We will come back to this issue, and I'm sure we'll speak to you again. There's a lot of learning there.